$170 million. That's what Mark Zuckerberg just paid for a house. Not a neighborhood, not a hotel, a single house on a 300-acre private island in Miami where the police force has one officer for every 6 residents, armed patrol boats circle the shoreline 24/7, and a $1.6 million radar fence detects anyone who gets too close. Oh, and the guy who built Facebook. He also has a 5,000 square foot underground bunker on a separate property in Hawaii with blast doors, its own water supply, and enough farmland to feed his family indefinitely. The man who convinced 3 billion people to share everything online is now spending hundreds of millions to make sure nobody can find him. We're about to take you inside the most expensive home sale in Miami history, a 30,000 square foot limestone fortress with a secret library, a 1,500-gallon aquarium wall, an underground 8-car garage, and an Alice in Wonderland swimming pool. And then we're going underground, literally, into the bunker network that proves Mark Zuckerberg is preparing for something the rest of us aren't ready to talk about. The $170 million check. On March 2nd, 2026, Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan officially closed on 7 Indian Creek Island Road in Miami-Dade County, smashing the all-time record for the most expensive residential sale in Miami history. The property sits on Indian Creek Village, a tiny 300-acre man-made island in Biscayne Bay that the world knows by a much more accurate name, Billionaire Bunker. Here's the insane part. The previous owners, celebrity cosmetic surgeon Dr. Aaron Rollins and his wife Maureen, bought the empty lot in 2020 for $30 million. They spent 5 years building the mansion, listed it in November 2025 for $200 million, and Zuckerberg's team snatched it in 40 days for $170 million. That lot flipped from $30 million to $170 million in 5 years. $140 million gross margin on a piece of dirt in Biscayne Bay. That's not real estate, that's alchemy. But why Miami? 2 words: tax optimization. California is pushing a proposed 2026 Billionaire Tax Act, a one-time 5% wealth tax on anyone worth over $1 billion. Zuckerberg's net worth sits between $220 and $252 billion. Florida has 0 state income tax and 0 wealth tax. Financial analysts estimate that by establishing residency in Miami, Zuckerberg could save up to $11 billion in California state taxes. So the $170 million house isn't just a house, it's a $170 million shield protecting an $11 billion vulnerability. That's the most profitable purchase in real estate history. Inside the limestone fortress. The compound was designed by Ferris Raffauli, the same architect behind Drake's legendary 50,000 square foot Toronto mansion, the Embassy. Raffauli doesn't do stucco, he doesn't do paint. This entire estate is precision-cut limestone, imported onyx, rich walnut, and massive slabs of marble. No synthetic materials. Everything is built from noble generational stone meant to age gracefully over centuries. It looks less like a Florida beach house and more like a European palace dropped into the tropics. The main residence spans roughly 30,000 square feet across multiple cascading levels, 9 oversized bedrooms, up to 15 bathrooms. And at the center of it all, a dramatic sweeping staircase beneath a 38-foot architectural skylight flooding the dense limestone interior with natural light. The property sits on 1.84 acres with 200 linear feet of pristine Biscayne Bay waterfront. For context, that main house alone is roughly 12.5 times larger than the average American home. Most of us are lucky to have 2,400 square feet. This man has 30,000. The features that break your brain. Let's talk about the stuff inside this place that sounds completely made up. First, a custom 1,500-gallon aquarium that's roughly 12,500 pounds of water, built directly into the architecture as a glowing transparent wall separating the formal living room from the dining area. That's not a fish tank, that's a structural engineering project that requires its own hidden machine room, marine biologists on the household payroll, and reinforced floor joists to prevent the whole thing from crashing through to the basement. Then there's the secret library, a grand double-height wood-paneled room with a concealed passageway hidden behind one of the walls. We're talking actual secret door, manor house vibes. The kind of thing you'd see in a Scooby-Doo episode, except it cost more than most people's entire neighborhoods. The basement level is an entertainment complex, a full movie theater with built-in concession areas, a bespoke jazz lounge, a climate-controlled wine cellar, and a billiards room. The outdoor pool is described in the listing as Alice in Wonderland-esque, a 60-foot resort-style pool surrounded by labyrinthine landscaping, shaded cabanas, and intricate stone terracing. And the garage? It's underground. A flow-through 4-car setup with industrial lift capabilities that can stack and store up to 8 vehicles below ground, completely hidden from aerial surveillance. Because when you're worth $250 billion, even your cars need to be invisible. The MMA compound. If you've been paying attention to Zuckerberg's transformation over the past few years, you already know the grey t-shirt era is dead. The man now trains with professional UFC fighters, competes in regional grappling tournaments, wears thick gold chains and custom streetwear, and tore his ACL while sparring in late 2023, badly enough to need reconstructive surgery. The Indian Creek compound reflects all of this. The property features a professional-grade wellness wing with a full-scale combat training facility, a Himalayan salt wall sauna, an advanced steam room, a private hair salon, and a dedicated massage and recovery room for treating training injuries. This isn't a home gym with a Peloton. This is a facility where a billionaire who's worth more than most countries' GDP gets punched in the face on purpose and then immediately walks into a salt wall sauna to recover. The waterfront has a massive private deep-water dock capable of mooring super yachts, a swim-up dock bar, and an outdoor summer kitchen. This dock essentially turns the bay into a private beach club. The island that protects him. Here's the thing about Indian Creek. Zuckerberg didn't just buy a house. He bought into the most fortified residential island in America. Indian Creek Village is its own incorporated municipality with roughly 84 to 86 residents total. The island's private police department has 13 to 19 officers, which works out to 1 cop for every 6.6 residents. For comparison, the neighboring town of Surfside has 5,700 citizens and runs its entire municipal government on a $19 million budget. Meta spends $27.1 million per year just to protect Zuckerberg and his family. One family's security budget is $8 million more than an entire city's operating budget. Let that sink in. The island has a single point of entry, one heavily fortified bridge at 91st Street with 24-hour checkpoint screening and appointment-only access. The waterfront perimeter is patrolled around the clock by armed police boats. And in 2021, the village dropped $1.6 million on an invisible radar fence, a network of thermal imaging cameras and radar sensors that automatically detects approaching vessels, swimmers, or low-flying drones and instantly feeds live thermal video to a central command center. This island is basically a military base that happens to have a golf course. The neighbors. And who lives on this island? Jeff Bezos is 3 doors down. He's bought 3 separate properties on Indian Creek for a combined $230 million. Tom Brady is currently building an eco-mansion there. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump bought a massive estate at number 36. Carly Khan, the legendary Wall Street corporate raider, lives there. Julio Iglesias has owned several waterfront lots for years and occasionally sells one off for an astronomical price. There are only 41 residential lots on the entire island, and most transactions never hit the open market, negotiated entirely through off-market pocket listings with strict NDAs. Empty dirt lots trade for $30 million. Median home values sit around $50 million. And turnkey estates like Zuckerberg's push past $150 million. This isn't a neighborhood. It's a billionaire vault. The Hawaii Bunker, 5,000 square feet underground. Now here's where the story goes from extravagant to dystopian. The Miami compound has fortified safe rooms in the lower levels and hurricane-proof engineering, but South Florida's high water table makes deep underground construction impossible. For the real bunker, you have to look at Zuckerberg's other compound, Ko'olau Ranch on the island of Kauai, Hawaii. This property is worth over $300 million, spans 2,300 acres, and connected by underground tunnels is a 5,000 square foot subterranean bunker. That's the size of an entire professional basketball court buried under a Hawaiian mountain. The bunker is sealed behind massive military-grade blast-resistant concrete and steel doors, hermetically designed to prevent water, biological pathogens, or toxic gases from getting in. It has its own independent energy supply through solar grids and heavy-duty diesel generators. A colossal water tank measuring 55 feet in diameter and 18 feet tall with a proprietary filtration system. The interior contains long-term living quarters, an isolated mechanical room for air filtration and power, emergency escape hatches, and multiple compartmentalized safe rooms with soundproofing and keypad locks. The bunker alone reportedly cost over $100 million to build. That's separate from the $170 million spent acquiring the land. And the food supply? Zuckerberg is raising what he calls world-class Wagyu and Angus cattle on the property, feeding them a custom diet of macadamia nuts grown on site and beer brewed directly on the ranch. A closed-loop agricultural system that produces food indefinitely without relying on the outside world. Construction workers on the Kauai compound are bound by draconian NDAs, face immediate termination for taking photos or sharing anything on social media, and operate under conditions one report compared to classified government black sites. The billionaire bunker trend. Zuckerberg isn't alone. LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman estimated that over 50% of his fellow tech billionaires carry some form of apocalypse insurance, usually a fortified hideout or remote property. Peter Thiel bought a 477-acre former sheep station in New Zealand and fast-tracked his citizenship after spending just 12 days in the country. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, openly admitted to stockpiling guns, gold, potassium iodide, antibiotics, and gas masks, and confirmed he has a heavily reinforced concrete basement he politely refuses to call a bunker. Larry Ellison, who owns 98% of the Hawaiian island of Lanai, is building 5 massive estates with subterranean passageways and industrial-scale generator rooms. And the companies servicing this paranoia are printing money. Rising S Company out of Texas sells bunkers ranging from $40,000 up to their $9.6 million aristocrat model, which sleeps 50 people and includes a bowling alley, swimming pool, gun range, and underground horse stables. Vivos converts decommissioned Cold War missile silos into luxury survival condos. Their X-Point facility in South Dakota has 575 concrete bunkers spread across an area 3/4 the size of Manhattan. What exactly are these billionaires afraid of? Before 2020, it was EMPs and solar flares. After COVID, it was pandemics. After Ukraine, it was tactical nukes. And now, the thing keeping them up at night is their own creation, an artificial intelligence apocalypse and the mass unemployment that comes with it. The numbers. Let's bring this home with the math. The median lifetime earnings for an average American worker over a 50-year career is about $1.7 million. Zuckerberg's house costs 100 times that. In 2025, his net worth grew by $39 billion. That's roughly $106 million per day. At that rate, it took him about 38 hours of passive wealth accumulation to pay for the entire $170 million compound. Most of us work an entire career to earn what this man makes before lunch on a Tuesday. The median home price in Miami-Dade County is $724,000. The Indian Creek compound is equivalent to 234 average Miami homes purchased in cash.